Finally tonight, the Riptides and the Pittsburg Potatoes squared off in the first semi-final matchup of the Junior Accounting League playoffs. Both clubs have begun seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but winning tonight is crucial, and the action would start early, as the Potatoes would get on base right away. Keeping the pressure on, the second pitch with the next batter gave the opportunity to steal second. However, the runner got greedy and pays the price. The batter would make the best of the situation, however, hitting a single up the middle. Demi Tickles would come up to the plate to see if she could add to the excitement and momentum. With the first pitch, almost like a replay, she hits another single up the middle. The Potatoes really must have had this game circled on their calendar, as there was already more action than any of their previous games. And Sammy Quibblefritz knew it. She would show more of that MVP look and what she has been doing all year long, and hit another single up the middle to load the bases with only one out on the board. Appa Noodle Whisk would come up to the plate next, hoping to break up the 0-0 tie. Noodle Whisk did not waste any time, hitting the first pitch out deep to right center field for the second out. However, it allowed the runner at third to come and grab the first run of the game. The Riptides knew they would have to step it up, and John O'Furniture was up to the task. In the top of the second, with nobody on and no outs, he waited for the right time and sent one into deep center field for the double. Jay Donnybrook had been quiet all season long, as he groomed his mustache to unveil to the world with the spotlights on. And did he ever, as he drilled one deep and says, "See you later." That home run felt like it was the jolt that the Riptide would need, as it not only evened the score, but propelled them to a 2-1 lead. But Rooney McChucklepants would step up to the plate to start the bottom of the inning and tell all of Pittsburgh, Yin's guys have nothing to fear, as he would go up the middle to get on base himself. Not even out of the second inning yet, and these two teams looked to be playing tennis instead of baseball. But the Yins were right to worry, as McChucklepants bit off more than he could chew. It wouldn't be until the bottom of the third, but Carl Normus would get to show off that pink highlighter hair as he stepped up to the plate and start the single up the middle party again. Ron Chucklechops would come up next, having just had a very heated discussion in the dugout, and the fans are going to be cheering for the fights from now on, as it led to this beautiful 2-run homer up the middle. Keeping the distance crown at home, Ron puts on this crown with the beautiful 457-foot rocket he hit. The Potatoes and the Riptide both seem to want this win badly, playing leapfrog on the scoreboard. Remember Demi Tickles? Do you remember her single up the middle way back in the first inning? Of course you do, and so does she, as she sends it once again in the bottom of the third with no one out just yet. Speaking of do you remember, Sammy Quibblefritz would come back up to the plate, remembering that single from before. Knowing MVPs don't hit singles, Sammy would swing and crush it deep down the middle for another 2-run homer to extend the Potatoes' lead. With the score now 5-2, the Riptides knew they had to do something. Demi Spaghetti would come in to pitch, and for the time being stop the bleeding and end the inning. Unfortunately for the Potatoes, Nick Fumble and the Riptides were ready to answer the call. He would swing and drop one right in front of the fielder to get on base. The Stash comes back to the plate, hoping to turn the tide even more in their favor. He swings and gifts the pitcher with an easy one, but the wild throw by the pitcher spells disaster. Fumble would round third and inch them closer. Cody Drewme came up next, having not done much of anything all season. This time, however, he wanted to join the party and sends a single where else up the middle to bring the stash home. Later on in the fourth, Richard Force Wind would step up knowing he had a job to do. With 2 men on base, Force Wind would rip it and send it deep, bringing the tying run home. But the fun wasn't over. Ludwig Frieda was brought on the team for his special skills, and he understood the assignment. Dropping it short of the fielder, Frieda's single brings 1 home and gives them the lead. Little Jimmy Waffles, coming off a great season, was having a bad game, but the Potatoes weren't chancing it. Quackerson was out and nothing was in, but it didn't matter who was in, as this single makes it 7-5. The Potatoes would add a run in the bottom of the inning, but nothing else would happen until the 6th. And the only way to describe it is for you to see it. The Riptides came back in fantastic fashion, as they punched their ticket to the first ever Junior Accounting League title game. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh fans, their team would be coming to join them at the watch party to see the Riptides face off against the winner of the Flamingos and Furious 25. Thanks for watching our recap tonight. As always, I'm KKTT, and tune in next time to see who earns that last ticket to glory.